Hey everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu, and I've got with me Max and Elijah. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey. How's it going?
Hey,
Uh-huh. What have you guys been checking out in the last week? Have you had the chance to check out any new shows, movies, anything like that?
Fallout. I just binged it.
You've
Oh,
binged
good.
it? Yeah? What were your thoughts?
I really liked it. I don't want to talk
Uh,
too spoileries.
sure, no.
Some of the
No.
big end twists I was kind of
Hmm.
just mid with.
Right, okay.
But I did like a lot of the story. I love the characters. The addition of just the irreverent humor to the universe
Hmm.
was really clever, and it
Yeah,
surprisingly worked really well because the games have a
yeah.
bleak humor to it, but it's not as funny as the show. The show was really getting into some really good humorous moments,
Yeah.
which the Reds knocked out of the park with. But
Hmm.
yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I love
What?
one thing I liked about it was the cameos, all the little cameos that they had of
Yeah,
other actors in it. They had
Hmm.
a lot of good people.
Fred
That
Armisen was great in it.
Hermsen was
Oh
great.
yeah, yes, yeah, yeah.
No, I'm going blank on his name. The guy that was in the suit that was calling him a mother effer and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Michael
who is that?
Rappaport.
Um,
Oh, is
my,
that who it? Oh,
who?
Michael Rappaport.
Yeah, Rappaport.
okay, all right.
I mean, you could tell right away with just the voice, even in the
Yeah,
robot. You're like, that's Michael Rappaport. You could tell just the way he's talking, and he's got that. He's
Yeah.
got that like whatever he's got, his accent, his Chicago
his New
accent,
York
or
accent.
New
Yeah,
York,
Hmm.
Chicago, Brooklyn accent, or whatever. You're like, and then they pulled it off the face cup. I'm like, yes, that was awesome.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
things like that. Fred Armisen was
yeah,
cool. There was a few other
yeah.
like cameos in there that were fun.
Hmm.
But the story was great. The characters were great.
Yeah.
That girl was amazing. She was very attractive, and like she played it like I don't know. She played it like
she was
really
like a
well.
lost deer on a mission.
Yeah,
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 yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You were hoping that, but you were like
Mhm.
on her side the whole time, which
Oh,
whatever,
for
Is
sure.
however she pulled it off was great, and the whole thing with the information and having the way they have to transport the information
hmm
was great. I don't know. I really liked it. That's like, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I loved
so
Walton Goggins in the show. I mean,
yeah.
him
Yeah,
as the ghoul. I can't believe I was on the side of a ghoul throughout the show, and he was doing horrible things, and I was still
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I kind of like this guy. I want to know more about him. Then you get to the end of the season, and you're like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm kind of with this dude.
I enjoyed Michael Emerson, who was this professor, the scientist guy,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
and he's, I mean, he goes back to Lost and all these other shows, and he's really good. He's just a really generally entertaining actor to watch. But at the same time, was like, okay, he didn't get as much time in the series. I'm not going to go into details if you haven't seen it, but I thought he was really cool to watch.
He
Having
becomes the MacGuffin.
he, don't say anything that
I'm just saying, he becomes the MacGuffin.
but he does. You're right. But at the same time, I've never played the games, obviously, and I don't have any familiarity. Max, have you played the game or?
Yeah. I played
Okay,
a few of them.
so how much was this series like the game, and how much do
So
you
the
think they might have
world
mixed and
was.
matched around things?
Here's what they did that was perfect. The
Yeah,
world was basically like the wastelands in the game.
sure.
The vaults were perfect. Every vault
Hmm.
you go in seems normal at first, and then there's always some screwy scientific experiment or
Sure.
social
Okay.
experiment going on in that
Right.
vault.
Yeah.
Because vault tech at its core is pretty
Hmm.
insidious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Um,
whole lore of the whole premise of everything, like I'm like, oh, it made me want to play the
yeah,
games. I'm like, is that what this game has been about? Like
How many
now I get
vaults
it. That look,
are there that they've
it
done to
sounds fun.
date? I mean,
there's
this
I
is
think 7 games total, but I would
right.
suggest play 3 on the Xbox 360 if you have it. That was my
Sure.
personal favorite.
All right.
Three on. Oh,
Um,
I have Xbox 360.
Right.
I'd have to go find that game somewhere.
But is
Must
Vault?
have
it's
it.
cheap. It's like $2. It's probably
Yeah.
$2 at a used game store.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? You can go buy it that cheap?
Yeah, it's a super cheap game. You can probably find it even cheaper on eBay for like $1. I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow.
But they took a lot of lore from the games. But what they
Hmm.
took that I noticed was the stats from the games because it's an RPG
Okay.
where you gotta build your character and build your
It
stats.
felt
The
like that at
characters
times.
had stats for
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely went to that kind of beat where it felt like those beats were, okay, this is a game moment because this is where this character suddenly drops that weapon, picks up this one, and moves forward, and it would be the similar thing as the game as a game. I'd
Yeah, there was
imagine.
stuff
So,
like that. The power suit
yeah,
losing batteries, like in the
sure,
game.
yeah,
I've been stranded with a power suit in the middle of nowhere,
uh huh,
needing a battery.
right.
Um,
So you have to get out, find one, and plug it back in type thing. I assume.
Yeah. There was obviously some stuff was changed in terms of like, I don't know how to put it. The vibe was different. The show was a lot sillier than the game. The game was a little more serious and bleak, and there's some dark humor in there and some really fun stuff. But the show is definitely a lot more comedy forward than the game.
Sure. Yeah.
But they took a lot of the idea and the general tone of the game in terms of how the world operates into the show. Which
visually it was stunning, and I had fun watching the show. I mean, Fallout is definitely worth checking out if you haven't checked.
The one thing that really sold it to me was when she gets injured in the first episode and stabs herself with a health stem. And like in the game, you can just kind of recover from anything if you just have a health pack on you.
Health pack, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's the health pack that gives you immediate repairs and gives you 9 lives or whatever. Yeah.
It felt like that at the start.
So Vault 33, which is where we kind of focus on at the beginning, is how many vaults are there in the game? Is it like 33 the last
There's a
vault?
lot. No, there's a lot of vaults, and the idea that
there's a couple per state, right? It's all like in major areas. Like that one's like 33 is just outside of
Los Angeles,
Santa Monica Pier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she comes out, and that's the Santa Monica Pier that she sees right there.
Yeah.
And then I guess there's a map somewhere, but I guess they're scattered across the U.S., and that was the whole point of this Fallout company. Like, was setting up all these Fallout shelters, like all across America, and people were buying into them, like a timeshare or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I loved all that backstory. That was pretty awesome and like totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The twist in the game, it's not really a big explained, like big reveal twist, but the general idea of the vaults is they're all kind of social experiments in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Some are more normal than others, but some of them get really dark. I definitely suggest looking up some of the darker vaults out there because there's stuff like just dark scientific experiments, putting children in charge of the vault instead of the parents.
Okay. Yeah, there's like that one with the mutants or with all the research.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's where all of that comes from. That's why they all have different traditions because they're all kind of social experiments in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And they've all been completely locked off from each other for 200 years.
Yeah, they've all been locked off from each other, so they all think it's normal. They all think they're all doing the same thing.
Right? They all think what they're doing is like this is the world. We've been doing this for 200 years. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
All these different. It makes like the Earth like a bunch of different planetary systems or whatever because you get like all these different like.
The vault dwellers get weird.
Yeah. That's cool. So, any other interesting things you watched? I've been rewatching The Walking Dead from the beginning. I'm liking to season 5 now, I think, or season 6.
Oh, you're like 2 seasons before it really drops off.
That's the thing. That's it. And I'm starting to
where it really drops off.
Yeah, I started to realize in season 5 what the problem was with that series when it got to season 5. They broke off the multi-story arc in an episode, and they went to a single character arc in a situation. Then they picked up on another character arc, and it got really boring very quickly. Not to be able to edit between, and they started doing that again at the beginning of season 6. And it wasn't until the characters came back together mid-season to play out the rest of the season that it became interesting again. And so it's like I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, this is about the same time period where I'm watching it where I started to lose interest of it in general. And I really didn't make it past season 7, I don't think, at that point. I was watching dribs and drabs, and I don't even know what season 9 and 10 were all about at this point. So, I'll see. Again, if I lose interest, I lose interest.
The show completely falls apart. I'll say that because obviously this isn't spoilers. It's been years ago, but Carl, Michonne, and Rick all left the show.
Yeah.
And once that happens, they really started relying on Daryl and Carol more and Negan. And I like Negan.
Yeah, see,
everyone else doesn't, and
I wasn't a fan.
They never really got past that whole idea of let's make everyone hate Negan forever.
Sure,
and they always had that try to play that around that edge with him instead of. What worked with him in the book is that he started out as a bad guy, and then he started doing good, and everyone was like, oh, I guess he is capable of good, and then they made him a 3-dimensional character through his actions instead of just making him a complicated character.
Yeah,
everyone hating him.
The funny thing is also, I mean, not knowing Invincible till the animated series came out, of course, it's fun watching back on The Walking Dead. Everything Carl's reading the comic book of Invincible. You've got the little action figures that are sitting there. There's actually they had some Lego figures or something like Lego
of chibi ones,
yeah, and they had the occasional house that they would they'd break into or something like that. So it was like, hey, look, it's an Invincible,
which is even crazier because Invincible wasn't very successful at that time.
No, exactly.
It was one of his lesser ordered comics.
Yeah.
In those days, it was still kind of struggling. I mean, it found its audience eventually.
Yeah.
But it was never on the same sales level as Walking Dead.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Invincible, a few weeks. I mean, again, we haven't been live for about 2 weeks, but they announced a week or two back that seasons 4 and 5 are being renewed. So it seems like they're in it for the long haul. Robert Kirkman kind of previously said he could definitely go as long as run for 7 seasons if he wanted to. So, I mean, season 2 is fine. I enjoyed it. I've been enjoying it, but it hasn't been like my favorite thing out there. But I think it's like, okay, that's cool. I get the I get the quirky comments and the quirky moments, like the whole Spider-Man kind of element there that they dropped in one episode. And
I think we're at that point. I know it's coming, and the show. The comic had this build up in the first arc with Omni-Man, and then it kind of plateaued a bit when you get through like some of the stuff in space, and some of the stuff with Mark and Amber and Eve, and it kind of plateaued for a bit until the Viltrumites came back, and then the story takes off on another level.
Okay,
and I think at the end of season 2, we see the Viltrumites kind of show up again. Anissa shows up, and things are about to get crazy again.
Okay.
Like they were in season 1. I think season 2, I think they should have taken out some of the stuff with the Sequoids. The Sequoids, the little squid monsters.
The ones from Mars or whatever.
Yeah.
That was
some of that stuff.
Yeah, that was not a great story arc.
I think they should have pushed the Viltrumite stuff forward, pushed Eve forward instead of having Mark be with Amber the whole season. I think they could have really condensed some of it, but I think they're really confident that they're going to be able to adapt basically the entire comic, which is what they're trying to do.
Yeah. A few other things that drop news-wise, by the way. Avatar: Last Airbender, the animated film piece. Is it film or actually? I'm not sure if it's a film or series now. I think it's a film. It's been delayed until 2026 instead of October of 2025.
Animated film.
I believe it's an animated. I've been meeting mixed reviews. I'm not sure if it's not a series. I think it's an animated. It could be straight to animated.
Netflix. I mean, because they have the live action thing on Netflix, so it'd be weird if it was something separate.
No. It is animated, but it picks up 20, like when the characters are like 25 years old.
This is the whole thing that happened when they started making the live action. Is the original people who made the show stepped away because they didn't agree with some of the vision of the Netflix show, and they parlayed that into making a sequel to the show.
And so they do pick up 20. Oh, again, when they're age of 25, and again, I'm hoping this gets a feature film release. It'd be great if they do a Nickelodeon cinematic release. It might just go straight to Nickelodeon and play out that way. But either way, I'm curious to see where those characters go. I've become very invested in those characters over the last few years, which is cool. Other news, guys, that I saw, Wednesday season 2 have cast Steve Buscemi, thank you. In the show.
I mean, he's a great choice of replacement for Jenny Ortega. I mean, I can't wait to see what it's going to do with the Wednesday character.
Yeah, I just can't take him and take
He's joking, by the way. He's joking. But that's funny.
Yeah, who could he be? He's got to be a weird a teacher at the school or something.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that seems... Well, are they even going to be in the school? Yeah, we don't even know if they're going to be in the school, because they kind of alluded that the school might be kind of, not the focus of attention next season. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Have we seen Gomez yet? Her dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's
Luis Gomez.
Yes.
Luis Guzman is Gomez. I was trying to think of what family members we haven't seen of her yet. I mean, I think they did.
Uncle Fester was in there. He was.
Yeah, Uncle Fester we've had. I think we've had most of them. I mean, Bashumi would be good for a villain, though. I mean, it'd be good to have
That's true.
an arc there. Again, I have no idea what they're planning for season 2. I don't know if we're back at the school or they're elsewhere, but there's a few other names that have been dropping around of other cast people who have been dropped. So
when does it come out?
I assume next year. I'm assuming next year sometime. Because it only just got approved at the end of last year. It hadn't officially had
I'm
a
just
season
thinking
2.
Timing-wise for her, because Beetlejuice will come out and,
I think it'll be definitely after Beetlejuice for sure.
It's crazy to see. And now I don't know. It's just looking at some of these newer. I don't know if it's more noticeably now. I don't know why, but like just younger people's careers. You're like, geez, like they get one thing, and then they're just in everything.
Yeah.
Like Austin Butler. I didn't know who he was a year and a half ago. Now I see him in everything.
He's in everything.
Yeah, Austin Butler was in Yoga Hosers.
Yeah.
I mean,
and now he's Elvis.
But you look at it.
Too. Come on,
usually
he was in Yoga Hosers.
Usually every 15 years or so, there tends to be a new batch of, I guess, the new Hollywood elites, and
I'm
you
just
consider
saying,
those actors in that.
It's interesting to see the waves. Like now that whatever we
Timothée Chalamet, you've got all these other they're all there. They're all there. They're all good looking. They're all young, and they look like the young Rat Pack of what the Rat Pack was back in back in their
I'm just
time.
saying the quickness of their popularity and career, just with social media and the way things explode, and
totally,
it's kind of insane to see.
Totally,
people blow up.
Yeah. Other stuff. Did you guys check out the trailer for Transformers 1?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Animated, yeah.
No, it's live action. Kind of.
It's high end CGI film, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's good for high end CGI. Yeah. I don't know if there's any actual sets. You're right. I don't know.
No, it's all animated. Yeah. It's kind of like Optimus Prime and Megatron in their college years is the best way to put it. Where they're best buddies. They're best buddies back on Cybertron. Now, wait.
Revenge of the Nerds meets Transformers.
Before anybody says anything, the actual connection that Megatron and Prime were actually friends before they became.
The lore is fine.
Actually, is there in the lore? Yeah, it's in the original generation stuff.
It's the tone that's the problem of making it like a buddy comedy.
It's that's the problem.
13-year-old kids with the humor of like he's right behind me, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like it's just like I don't know. This whole it looks bad.
I kind of had this hoping that it would actually do something, but it was kind of cool because we got to see a young Alpha Trion who is like the original leader of the Transformers and everything like that. But I don't know how they're going to rewrite the history of it, but I just don't know if I'm going to check it out.
I don't think it's going to rewrite the history. I think it's just going to be a very vague comprehension of the original history, but with a comedic tone over it.
It feels like that.
Voicing Optimus is just. I don't know.
Wait. Chris Hemsworth? He's not voicing Optimus, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Is he? Where's Peter McCullen? I didn't catch that. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, because...
He's not in the movie.
Oh, he won't... Huh?
He's not in the movie.
Oh, interesting. I'll have probably a reason why.
And Brian Tyree Henry is voicing Megatron.
Huh. Okay. Well... I don't know. I mean, it didn't... I was hoping for a little bit more because they kind of felt like they were trying to target Generation 1 vibes with it, and it's not
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah, it definitely was not that, which, I like... there is stuff in Generation 1 that worked in what they're trying to play out in this film by the look of it from the trailer, but... The film itself just looks,
I'm super bummed about it too because I'm actually getting into Transformers right now with Daniel Warren Johnson's Transformers comic, which has been in my opinion, some of the best Transformers media in the last 20 years.
Cool.
And it's like it's a really great comic. And I was really hoping the movie was maybe going to be something like that. Like I was hoping they're going to be pushing a new tone in the Transformers world, but apparently not.
Yeah, well, that's enough about that then. Okay. Other stuff out there, news-wise, guys. One Piece Season 2 puts sets new showrunners, I believe it is, which would be interesting to see. And they begin filming in June. I enjoyed this series a lot. Actually, I think this is my favorite series that aired last year. That and Wednesday, actually, my two favorite shows that aired last year. This one had really cool character development. So, did you see it, Elijah?
One Piece.
One Piece, yeah.
I watched the first 2 episodes.
Not your thing?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't my thing.
All right.
But like,
it definitely ramps up and involves itself.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. It just wasn't grabbing me.
Yeah. Okay.
All Out, on the other hand, I watched all in 2 days. Like, I almost killed it all in one day. I was like, this is good. The first 2 episodes, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And very few things get me. I don't know. I'm
shows,
hard,
yeah.
I'm hard to get. I'm hard to get.
Yeah.
I know. We know. I know that's what you're about to say.
Yep.
You bastard.
I was just gonna say it. But
every group needs the hard-headed one. I'm the one that's got hard to please. I'm the hard to please one.
Yeah.
I need standards. I've got standards.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to TV shows, yeah, absolutely. You definitely. It surprised me when you said you watched the first 5 episodes. Is where I was going. I was like, wow, that's a lot for you to binge watch in a single. Oh, you watched the first 2. Okay. No. I'm talking about what? No. I'm referring to Fallout.
Oh,
when you said you watched the first 5 episodes of Fallout, I was like, oh shit, wow, that's a lot.
Oh, and the first one I messaged that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that was all in one day, and I think I watched it a few after that. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey guys, Kraven the Hunter got pushed to December. This film keeps getting pushed back.
Is anyone really craving this movie?
No, not at all.
Can we have Wile Coyote versus Acme and get rid of this one?
I know, right?
Shelve that one. Yeah. I think they need a tax write-off more than Warner Brothers, right? Like
Sony it's Sony.
Sony need like a tax write-off? Make that a bomb. Take that, whatever. Funnel that into Wile Coyote. I want that damn Wile Coyote movie. That sounds the premise of that.
Yeah.
And with what's his face, the comedian being in it?
Will Forte.
Is that who's in it?
Will Forte and Wile Coyote in a movie. That alone,
brilliant.
Sounds goddamn amazing.
More appealing. Mm-hmm.
But if it's Wile Coyote and he's his lawyer and they're suing Acme for like all their faulty products, that would be the best movie ever made. I think.
I think so. I think
I'm still mad.
I think
I know there's some hope of it or whatever, but like.
Well, it is. Here's Wile Coyote right there. Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like
No one's Kraven the Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One other thing here, by the way, and I didn't know anything about this, but Ron Howard has done a documentary on Jim Henson, which is basically what makes him tick. And that drops...
there's a trailer for it on Disney.
Yeah. Basically, it comes out, I think it was like May, June, was it June 30th or something like that? May 30th, something like that. It comes out in the next couple of months. But
all these documentaries that people are getting popular, but they're good. Yeah. I haven't watched the Steve Martin one yet. I know that's on.
I just watched that.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I didn't know there was one out there.
I just traded in my phone, so now I get like 3 free months of Apple TV, which I'll probably do only because I want to watch that Steve Martin documentary.
Oh, okay.
It's good.
Apple TV,
really good.
Yeah.
But that cool. And I know the Jim Henson one was good. The Harrison Ford one that they did on Disney.
Yeah, the Indiana Jones
the hero Disney. Whatever.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that's when you know they've spent time and attention into putting into a proper documentary. Unfortunately, everything.
There was one on Albert Brooks. Albert Brooks on HBO.
I watched that. That was good.
Yeah, they're just focusing on good people or good people to like notarize like their career and like it's.
Yeah.
But they're doing it they're all really good. So.
Right.
I kind of watch them all because I kind of like that, just kind of like history of.
Sure. Yeah. Some of them have been really good. Unfortunately, things like the TV show ones that they've been doing for like the Marvel stuff and the Star Wars stuff just haven't been very strong documentaries recently. They've really been. They've just been kind of.
It was really interesting the first season when they had everyone in a round table and they were able to talk about it and go over.
That was during, of course, that was also during COVID. So they basically had trouble having anything to air, so they had time to actually do that. Hey there, Anchorman. How's it going?
Hey, it kind of sucks now how they just backseat to all those and just made them glorified behind the scenes videos.
Yeah, they really have. They just they haven't
no talk process or what inspired them or where their ideas come from or even anything about how it was really made. It's more just like, this is what we did.
Yeah.
Just like
The
very
fact,
rudimentary.
yeah, the fact this Jim Henson one is Ron Howard putting it out there
that's
means
really
that
cool.
it's going to be a really in-depth
Yeah.
piece. I'm very excited to see that because no one in the Jim Henson company has really managed to pick up that same exact spark. They've done what they can to try, but they haven't hit that same spark that Jim Henson had ever since he created what he created and his vision of stuff.
Yeah,
and,
some of that's timing and just,
it's more than timing.
Some of it's timing in the world and just what's going on in the world and like how people react to certain things. There's a quaintness to it that is kind of lost.
Yeah.
But
absolutely. I agree.
I get it. It's just a different thing now. But like there was magic. There was more magic back then. People were like more. You're right. There's more magic and more believable in it than versus than there was.
It was not just magic. There was an innocence about what James. James Cameron. James Henson. Sorry, Jim Henson. Sorry,
Jim Henson.
Wow. Jim Henson was there. James Cameron doesn't have that. Yeah. Jim Henson had that absolute innocence about everything he created, and he could see the innocence and he could deliver the innocence, and not many people can do that. And so anyway,
that's coming soon, right? Is that available now or like?
No, it's what I think. When was it again? I think I read it was coming out. Right. I think it was June 30th.
That far away.
Yeah.
More notice than trailers for movies. Come on.
Yes, yeah, he's got a son and daughter.
His son is.
But I think he's. But Brian Henson doesn't have that spark at all. There's a lot of people that had issues with how Brian Henson had done things, and he still runs
Some
by.
People really didn't like his
name.
R-rated stuff. I think that was a big
and he's got more stuff.
I love that.
But even before that, even 20 years ago, people were not really connecting with what he was trying to give. That was very different to his father.
I did like that movie he did about the Muppet cop.
Oh, I never saw.
I didn't see that. Oh.
Oh my god! It's
with
some people really
cop and what's her McCartney?
Who's in that?
McCarthy? Jenna McCarthy? Sure. Gina, whatever her name is.
Oh, was Jenna McCarthy in that?
Really?
Not Jenna McCarthy, whatever. I'm saying the name wrong. Anyways.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyway, that's coming out soon.
That's what it's called.
I'm definitely
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
We were so close. I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember who.
I know Jenna McCarthy. I know they're completely.
Oh yeah, that was a recent. Oh yeah, that was a recent one.
2018. Yeah, it was. I thought it was so funny. It's
okay.
It's just kind of dumb humor the whole time.
Yeah.
There's an extended puppet sex sequence that I think just killed a lot of old school Henson fans, and they're like, this guy. People were calling it sacrilegious to what Jim Henson wanted to do with puppets.
Yeah. I mean,
Brian Henson disagrees. He thinks his father would have liked it.
Fair enough. I mean, Jim Henson apparently was a little bit of a scoundrel with women, so he
70s, man.
Anyway, being the case,
free love.
There you
hippies.
go. Anyway, being the case,
hey girls, you want to check out my Muppets?
Yeah,
I got something else.
In the case of his innocence definitely was lost when he passed away, and that was I was in college at the time when that happened, and man, I was really sad that day. Other things that happened. Something happened this past week, guys. The Flash season 1, the TV show, actually hit its April 25th, 2024 Missing Flash Vanishes in Crisis of the Red Skies story arc. They had set up this arc that 10 years after the Flash started, that the Flash was going to disappear.
He's going to go missing in a crisis.
He's going to go missing in a crisis.
Yeah. Earth,
yeah. Article?
Yeah.
A fake news article?
It was a fake news article in the first episode of the first season.
It was something that they set up to kind of ease the idea of a crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yep. So we could change that. So we could change that reality. But this week was that date. So
What did they end up doing with that in the show? Did they end up like? Was it years before that they were like, we finally changed it? I can't even remember.
Changed it. It occasionally came back to haunt them in some way or another. But the Red Skies definitely happened when it happened with. They sped up the process, is what happened, because the Red Skies became Crisis on Infinite Earths. Story arc with
they did do it, but they didn't kill off Barry.
They didn't. They actually technically they killed off Barry Allen of the original '90s Flash. So Barry Allen did die.
They did do that.
It was that.
I was a little impressed.
And that broke me up. That broke me up even more because that was my Flash. But shut up, Elijah.
No,
I can have my moments with my heroes.
No. I'm not. I'm laughing at an old memory because you're saying this is 10 years from the day and this is when it happened.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm flashing back to high school in art class, and it was 1997.
Yeah.
Certain day at a certain time. It was from from Terminator 2, the day that the time that the thing was supposed to drop.
Yeah.
And we had a group, our art table. There was like 8 of us in a circle, and there was like other groups around. But we all knew that it was that day. I'm like, hey, exactly at 2:15, we need to be all like,
the nuclear war's gonna happen. Terminator 2.
So exactly at 2:15, we all start freaking out.
Oh, really?
Like 8 of us, we all start like we're all dying, and everyone's like, what's happening? And we're like, oh. And then we stopped and we're like, it's Terminator.
That is funny. That's hysterical. Anyway, I just thought it'd be a thing. James Gunn has been posting images on occasion the last few weeks. So, basically this is him and the cast, from Superman. They've gone kind of quiet for the moment. We haven't really had too much information.
Reading comic books. They should be working. Come on.
They are reading comic books in the middle.
You're just now reading these comic books? You guys should be familiar with this character by the time.
Yeah, go figure, huh? Yeah.
I still think cracking open the Superman #1, was it Clark Kent?
Yeah.
Clark Kent?
Yeah. Either way, I mean, it's cool that
Krypton.
It's cool that he stops to have a bit of fun and post things like that. He's always posting stuff there. And then other stuff that there was an image here that dropped of Brave New World, of Captain America, Brave New World, with Harrison Ford.
So silly on Harrison Ford.
It looks really bizarre with him. I mean, he looks like he was in Endgame or Ender's Game or whatever that was. I think he had the same type of haircut, and it just doesn't work. Do we think he's
worse from that angle?
Yeah. I mean, do we think he's just going to simply be replacing just replace it? It's not going to be
multiverse.
No multiverse.
His hair's only like that, so when he gets Red Hulk, he can have that little topper haircut.
That's funny. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's why it is.
So do we think we're going to see? Are we going to see Red Hulk
like that? So when he's Red Hulk, he's got that little
that little tuft of hair on his head.
Yes, that's why. That's why.
Funny.
Red Hulk Funko Pops leaked.
Oh really?
Yeah, and
with that little tuft of hair.
Yeah.
I'm right.
More or less.
Right.
I don't want to spoil too much, but it just looks like a big red Harrison Ford. And I'm surprised he did it.
Do you think?
I'm sure they had another actor doing the body.
Sure. They just paint him red like the old school TV show.
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, he's just like.
I'm going to assume they're going to kill the character off by the end of that film, but that's just my wild guess. I don't know. I don't think.
So. I think they're casting him. They're going to use him in a few projects.
Really? I mean, you think Harrison Ford's going to stick around for that?
At one point, it's like Mark Ruffalo. Come on.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Harrison Ford. I mean, I honestly never thought Harrison Ford as a Marvel universe.
He's an IP guy. Everyone always says he's not.
So.
He's an IP guy.
Yeah,
he likes the big studio checks. He likes that seeing his name on the marquee.
Sure.
That's the stuff he's best at, and I think people kind of forget that he's one of those guys that he likes to attach himself to a franchise and play a character in a franchise and be able to say, I'm Han Solo, I'm Indiana Jones, I'm the Red Hulk. It's just what he does.
A lot of things. Harrison Ford has a lot of titles.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, Harrison Ford be playing Harrison Ford, so it's like, but at the same time, it's. I mean, you know what? I'm always happy to see Harrison Ford always still busy working, especially at his age that he's at.
Yeah, Harrison Ford is not a character actor, but he's got charisma. He's got that. He's
you're right.
He's got like a Clooney type of
Yeah.
whatever. He's like Clooney's not like.
Sure.
I mean, well, he's good in some things, but like whatever. He's not like it's not a stretch. It's not like he's no.
Yeah.
Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yes, no Peter Sellers or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's jump into a bit of Star Wars, guys. This week.
Wait a minute.
What's that? Wait.
We might be going to we might be going to Universal on Tuesday.
Oh, we might be going to Universal. Yeah.
Provided both of you guys are available.
I'm down. I don't have a car right now because of current issues.
We'll pick you up. We'll get you.
Yeah, I actually don't know. Yes, my car that I got 6 months ago, transmission blew out on the freeway the other day.
Really?
Yes, go figure. Guess what happened to my last car? My transmission blew out after having that vehicle for 11 years. Yes, yeah. Oh. So I'm waiting to hear back from. Anyway, that's nothing for these guys to hear. But
send I may.
No, I don't have. No, I'm not. No one's sending anybody money. Nobody's sending anybody money.
The link right here.
Nobody is. I'm waiting to find out whether my vehicle is under warranty still, and it should be, but I don't know if they're going to cover it. But anyway, be the case. All right, guys, let's jump back to news. Unfair. May the 4th, guys. May the 4th is coming up. We've got a lot of things happening this week. Bad Batch series finale. Bad Batch series finale airs on May 1st. May 2nd is...
was the last episode the second to last episode?
Yes, it was, yes.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I was barely paying attention.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet? Okay, so we won't talk about it today.
I watched it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
On a plane, though. It was a kid kicking the back of my seat.
Oh no. Well, let me get through this.
Story when we got to it.
Let me get through this segment, and we'll talk about it for a minute. Yeah. So May 2nd, celebration for Japan. Tickets go up on sale for Star Wars Celebration in Japan. No, I won't be going to that. I just simply cannot afford that. It's just too much. I'm hoping it comes back to to America sometime soon because Celebration is just incredible to go to. May the 3rd, the Phantom Menace tickets gets re-released. I've already got my tickets for that date for the 25th anniversary.
Boring.
No. I know.
Why would you want to
I want to go see. I want to go see Phantom Menace many times. It's playing for 1 week only, guys. 1 week only, and I cannot wait.
In theaters right now.
Yes, it is. Alien. Yeah, 45th anniversary.
Do you know how long that is in theaters?
Only for a week, and it usually plays only like 7 p.m. I think. Because I don't have a car, I can't get to the theaters where it's playing.
Maybe I might go see it tonight.
Yeah, and then May 4th, Tales of the Empire. This Friday into Saturday, guys. The night of Friday night, we're going to probably do our reaction to that. We're going to definitely break down each episode of Tales of the Empire because that looks so cool. And that's the animated shorts that are coming out. So that's all coming up this week. So we've got a pretty heavy week coming up with Star Wars related material. And I'm sure we'll be bouncing stuff around, figuring out what's worth reacting.
I think there might be an announcement on May 4th. Mm-hmm. I mean, all year we've been hearing slight leaks about all year we've been hearing slight leaks about the next phase of Star Wars. Even the current art book had the next phase listed as the new Jedi Order, the new Age of Jedi, something like that. Yeah. When I talked to Charles Soule, he definitely implied that news would be coming quicker than people thought, and that the reason why we were hearing all those rumblings is because they were getting ready to release not like a trailer, but just a formal announcement of what could be coming next. Yeah, well, that's definitely. I'd say we keep our eyes open on May the 4th and see what is dropped because there's also no Star Wars Day. Yeah, but there's also no. Oh, really? Okay. Yep. But there is no Star Wars Celebration this year, 2024. And at least until next year. So because they've got this in between year, we are going to get a massive drop of information
every 2 years?
It's every 2 years. Yeah, with the exception of when they had COVID, they pushed it 1 year, and then the following year was in England. But we are in that leap year of celebration of Star Wars, so we will be getting most of our information on May and around May the 4th of what they're planning in the future. I'm going to assume they'll also probably announce, I'm guessing they're hyping up for Orlando, either show or movie, keeps coming back around. I know that what's his name? Played Lando.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. Thank you. I know he's kind of hinted that he's definitely been active in stuff there for some reason, like recently. So I'm sure that we're going to get all these announcements coming soon. I don't know how they're going to actually deliver this form of announcement. I know that Disney had the Star Wars Nights coming up as well this week, where it's got the midnight thing in Disneyland. Disney After Dark, sorry, has got the Star Wars event this week as well. So we might get information come out through there. They might drop stuff. So we're going to get this whole pile of tidbits and pieces and hopefully trailers and stuff coming out that and then of course June the 4th we've got The Acolyte, which comes out as well. So that's going to be another big thing. Other things that popped out this week on Star Wars related stuff, we have got Andor comes out on 4K and Blu-ray, and so does Kenobi, and then along with that, also going off into MCU for a second, Moon Knight and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all both have got their series coming out this month as well. This week, I'm sorry.
Where are you buying stuff now? Like, where are you having to go to buy? You used to go to Best Buy all the time.
Blu-rays, sometimes I usually you kind of. Target hardly have anything these days. Usually, that sort of stuff, I think Walmart still pick in some of the special things, which is surprising. Like, they're getting some of the 4K stuff like this, the exclusive stuff
I mean, I kind of heard that, like,
because
the ones that, like,
Best Buy don't. Yeah, Best Buy don't sell them, and Target just get maybe one or two at the most. You'd have to be extremely lucky just to walk in and find something off the shelf.
I think there's going to be
otherwise
big
it's all
loss
going to be
in
on
a
Amazon.
couple years when everyone loses all their digital media and we can't get physical
That's what
media
I'm saying.
anymore.
I mean, this seems like a little hiccup where, like, I mean, it's happened in the past in between, like, conversions of things where, like, like a mini disc type thing where it doesn't like exactly take off. Yeah. But I don't see Blu-rays or DVDs going away anytime soon. Like,
people still have this one for.
I mean, the disc that size of disc, whether it's Blu-ray or whatever, and they play, and if it's compatible, like games, it's more of a universal size disc. I mean, for everything. So I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the
push. I mean, it's
I mean, because it's already now that people don't have it, it's already becoming nostalgic. Yeah. Already, like they're slowly coming down on DVDs, but people already want Blu-rays and DVDs already.
I think they're making less in stock, and they're doing most of it, and realizing that in-store sales are not as good as online sales. So there's definitely online sales. I know that. I mean, again, it's like. Whatever.
It's like we do a lot of online sales. We're in California. We're in an easy spot. Like if you lived in friggin' middle of nowhere, like you can't go to a Target or a Walmart and buy stuff anymore. You have to Amazon. You have to buy things online, which is just. Yeah,
I know. There's something about going into a store and touching it and grabbing it. Making sure the box is not damaged on the side or something like that.
I just curious. I'm sorry.
No, but you're right. You're right. Yeah. So
I know you buy a lot of those box sets, and you have a bigger DVD collection. Yeah. So I'm just curious where you.
I will eventually definitely get the Kenobi and Andor box set.
You have to start going to Amoeba just to buy DVDs now.
Probably. Yeah. Anyway,
one day Brent will be like, "Hey Elijah, I'm going to Amoeba. You want to go with me?" I'm like, "Hell yeah! I've been waiting for you to ask me this my whole life. Oh, let's go and look, buddy."
That's funny. Hey, sucked. VHS made
everything now. They got movies. They got comic books. They got.
I know. That's why I love going all the time. It's like my favorite store.
Oh yeah. So just jumping back to Bad Batch, I ended up by doing a reaction for last week's episode. Max was not available. Series finale happens this week. I don't know how long it's going to be yet. They haven't announced how long. I assume it'll be about an hour-long story. Hopefully a little longer. I don't know. But Max, just quickly, I know Elijah. You haven't seen it, what we've been watching recently, but Elijah, Max.
I'll take a quick moment, and you guys.
Okay, talk. All right. Max, what did you think of last week's episode?
I don't remember it.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was such an important episode. I didn't realize it was the second to last episode.
That's funny. Okay. Fair enough. Omega was kind of grouping the kids together. She manages to escape out and sees the Zillo Beast in the side rooms of the location that they're stuck at. which is kind of a really dangerous place to put a Zillo beast there right next to a bunch of kids. But
I mean, I don't think they care about.
I don't think they care. I don't think the
Yeah.
Empire care. Yeah.
I think if they're dead, they can still harvest the midichlorians. So I
Yeah.
think they just need them in an environment where they're not gonna run away.
Sure. But in going with that, there was absolutely 100%. Like, this whole season has been shedding Andor vibes in the way it was shot, in the way they were doing certain angles and camera. Like, do you notice the above shot over the top of Mount Tantus? You just see the top of the mountain, and then it cuts to the kids in the round on the table in the circle, and stuff like that. And you got all those images and all that stuff from Andor. And again, because I wasn't Andor was an amazing series, but for some reason, there's something about it that didn't mix right with me, as I've said before. But this series has certainly got some Andor vibes to it. So you got this dark. I don't know if it's about the darkness of the Empire, but I feel like it's like you want to see something with a bit of hope in there, where characters are surviving even despite the odds, but in a fun way. And we're not getting as much fun in the Bad Batch, from my opinion. We're getting straight out drama.
Well, the Bad Batch has been sad this season. It's
Oh, you froze. Sorry, what was that?
The Bad Batch this season has really just been beating you down. It's been like, look how sad life is under the rule of the Empire.
Oh yeah, no. Which
these clones' lives are when they're thrown away, and it's just. I honestly think we've seen that enough before.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
We've seen a lot of those ideas before in the clones. I wish they would touch on new topics other than they're disposable, but they're still people.
Yeah, no, it feels like that they're definitely thinning out the stories they can do with clone story arcs. And as much as I love characters, I still keep saying I want to see the action adventures of Captain Rex on the other side. I don't know if I'm going to get that, but I feel like that is more interesting of an arc. I feel like. And Omega's not a bad character. I enjoy the character, but we're getting tied down to a certain degree of we have to rely on this kid in a group of adults, and in a Empire situation, it's like, okay, I am ready for the show to end. I'm still curious to see what happens next week, but also going from the way Star Wars Rebels ended their series and their series finale, it really was about them taking back Lothal, because Ezra Bridger's mission at the beginning of that series was to take back Lothal, and they accomplished that mission. It didn't have any other impact on the greater world of Star Wars except for that one story. So there's a lot of people saying there's going to be a huge, great big clone uprising. We're going to see the end of the clones. It's all going to happen here. I don't know if that is actually going to happen. I feel like we're going to see the end of. They're going to have to stop. Not Rampart. Hemlock, who is the main villain of the show right now. They're going to have to stop him from ever coming after Omega again. I feel like that story arc's going to end at Mount Tantus, and I assume they're going to make it, close that off or whatever it becomes. I don't think anyone's big is going to die, except for maybe Echo at this point. I don't know why. I just feel like, it feels like they are going to find somewhere. They're going to get somewhere safe. They're going to go off and live somewhere, but no one's going to come looking for them ever again.
I think it's going to involve Jedi. I mean, they started the show with Kanan Jarrus, and I think they're going to bookend it.
Instead of a
Jedi running away, a Jedi finding her home.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Ahsoka Tano turns up in this, which is a very good possibility, but I don't think it needs to. So maybe it's again. It's like I just know we're not going to get what we've been hyping in our own minds for the last year or two, that we're going to see this whole big battle and the last stand of the clones. Not at this point in time, because I feel like they are going to milk that down the track. But at the same time, I'm glad that they brought that Zillo Beast arc back into the story again, because that's been going on since the Clone Wars, about what Palpatine wanted for, that particular arc. Hey there, Chris. How's it going? We're just talking about Bad Batch. But yeah, that's where I'm thinking that Bad Batch is going to end up by going next week. And yeah, I mean, if you're around, Max, we'll do a reaction to the series finale and drop it and check it out this week. And hopefully we'll get an announcement for what the next animated series is going to be from Disney and Lucasfilm later this week. Again, they have not planned anything that's kind of like an official, we're going to make announcements. They've just simply said, this is what's
They
happening
usually do that, though. They usually on Twitter
Usually they
or
do,
Instagram,
yeah.
they just surprise drop it. And,
yeah, I mean, we got the
everyone goes
surprise
crazy.
drop. I mean, Tales of the Empire was a surprise drop. We know we were going to get
Yeah.
we thought we were going to get Tales of the Jedi season 2. We got Tales of the Empire, and that was like, whoa.
Well, that seems to be Star Wars' marketing plan right now, is to give
Yeah.
people so little that
Yeah.
when you change what's expected, people lose their mind.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
And that was kind of the same thing with the Obi-Wan show and Boba Fett. And I think some of the stuff going forward is going to be in that same vein too. Maybe not with legacy characters, unless they do Mace Windu show. But we'll see.
Yeah, and Elijah, I know you're not big into animation, but if you were going to see an animated,
No, I like
Star Wars...
animation.
Oh, no, sorry,
It's not
like
the crappy Star Wars animation.
Well, okay, but within the Star Wars, you don't like the style of animation. You don't like the CGI, is what you're saying there, right?
I just don't like the blocky, stiff.
Okay,
look
right.
like action figures.
That aside, but
even,
that is
all of that. I don't know. That aside, what?
That aside, if you were to watch an animated series in the Star Wars universe, what would you want to see if they were to drop the next animated show? What would it be about? Would it be Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Han Solo after Return of the Jedi? Would it be the Ewoks? Would it be what would you want to see as an animated?
A good question on the spot. Like I'm trying to think of like.
I just threw it up.
I know. It's on the spot. I don't know. I mean, something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Something in the world, but like not with main character. I don't know, like an offshoot or something.
So something with not with main characters. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anybody in chat? What would you want to see, Max? What would you want to see?
Like seriously, like if I was gonna have a cartoon, I would want like the Max Rebo Band.
Sure.
Series like
you're not the first one, by the way. You actually a lot of people have said fans
like
have
Josie
said.
and the Pussycats, or like Blues Brothers, where they go to each planet and they play a new show and in a different port.
That'd be cool.
It's just different. It's funny. It's funny. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars characters, but they are playing in little dive bars, like little Star Wars bars on different planets all over the world, and you get like a Spinal Tap jokes, and you get like the touring band jokes, and it's in the world, but like just completely separate from like any sort of like hero or villain type of situation.
Okay, we got the origin.
That's the best thing I can say, but something like that. Even if it wasn't like the Max Rebo Band or whatever, like some other thing like that, where it's like they're not really dealing with in the Empire, or they're not dealing with any sort of like villain necessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
We've got the origins of Master Yoda. That could be interesting. I'd like to see young Yoda. We're going to see a little bit of that of in Acolyte. I'm guessing we might not see Yoda at all, but I assume he's going to be. We have got ourselves hipsters buy back CBG. Okay. CBG. Okay.
Bring CBGBs to the Star Wars.
Yeah. I do agree. Like, I feel that, I mean, as much as I have enjoyed the darkness in The Bad Batch, I feel like it's a little too dark, and it feels Andor dark for me.
It took a jump dark. The last season they were like pod racing, and now it's like genocide's back on the table, boys.
Yeah, but even some of that I didn't have as much fun in. I feel like I just need fun characters that I can relate to. And there's a lot of people that have related to the Bad Batch characters, and that's great. I just personally haven't. I related more so to the Rebels characters more than anything, and that felt like your old school, A New Hope kind of vibes, because it was right in that time period. But it was also about characters who were in dire situations, but
the problem with Bad
we're
Batch,
learning and having fun.
Development sucks. I mean, if you look at the original trilogy, they started out as vague archetypes, and they quickly evolved past that. I mean, Princess Leia became way more than just a princess. Han Solo became way more than a smuggler. Did Hunter ever become more than just the guy in charge? Did Wrecker ever become more than just the guy who's strong and
in fact, the only one who's had the character arc in this series is Crosshair. He's the only one who's had the big. Yeah, and even Omega's had little arcs, but yeah, as an overall
they don't develop at all. Hunter
Yeah.
hasn't changed from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
start of the season to the
You're
end
right.
of the show. He's
Yeah.
still been
Yeah.
the guy that's like, I'm going to protect Omega no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's cool,
Yeah.
but there's nothing else going on in this guy's life.
Tech had a few character arcs there and growth, and they killed him. So
yeah. Well, that's how you knew he was going to die, because he changed a little bit. He started to grow.
Yeah. So maybe Crosshair doesn't make it in this series finale. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they made him too morally gray, where he's going to sacrifice himself and he's going to tell himself that he couldn't be redeemed, and the whole squad's going to be like, no, he redeemed himself by saving us all.
Possibly. I don't know. I feel like the core group are going to survive, and as I said, if anyone was going to die, it could be Echo, but it depends on what they had plans for him, for Captain Rex in the future, because obviously Rex has got a whole thing there. That that's the other thing. We're getting this whole rescue in the series finale of the remaining clones. We don't really know how many clones. They haven't defined how many clones are in Mount Tantus.
That's going to be the twist. It's going to be millions.
But the thing is that if you end up with a big batch of clones, it means that they're not done with the clone arcs and stories yet, which means that there is room for, they haven't dealt with anything on Commander Cody, who kind of went AWOL in the last episode. We haven't had any kind of build up to or any additional stuff on Clone X, who has been the one hunting them. So we're getting...
Oh, yeah.
See, we forgot about that character. There's not this constant chase, like Thrawn was doing in the Rebels.
It's Rebels a bit lopsided this season.
Yeah, I feel like, and that's where I'm a little bit like.
The villain isn't as good. I mean, what's his name? The weird guy with the haircut.
Yeah, Hemlock. Yeah.
Hemlock's actually all right as a sub-villain, but for the big bad of a whole show, he's a little
you're right. You're right there. I do enjoy him as a villain.
And Thrawn and some really great Star Wars villains. He's very at the bottom.
Yeah, see, this is the show that you'd want kind of Tarkin a bit more involved. He hates these clone arc, but even Tarkin doesn't seem to understand what Mount Tantus is all about.
Tarkin doesn't even care enough to get involved with this plot, and that's Tarkin. Like. That's the problem with this show. It's just the grunts doing grunt work, kind of building up to Palpatine's return. Yeah, everyone's just doing janitorial work almost for this universe. They're not actually the major players really don't care.
Now, I mean, again, I don't want to disagree with anybody who really enjoys it, because there's a lot of people that do thoroughly enjoy this. In fact, a lot of people said they've enjoyed Bad Batch.
I like the show. I just think there's some inherent flaws that I think
there definitely is. There's things I enjoyed more from previous shows, whether it was Clone Wars or Rebels, that I enjoyed more in those shows than I had in the Bad Batch. And not to say Bad Batch, doesn't always work. There's some really cool moments that surprised me in the Bad Batch. But there's stuff, there's stuff I didn't connect with as much personally. That's just me. Again, don't take that to any offense, anybody, because I'm not trying to ditch the show. I'm glad it's out there. I'm glad it exists. And I am curious to see how the show ends. But I'm also more curious to see what we get next in the animated film, series universe kind of thing. Yeah, you're right, Chris. But then once that order kind of transferred in, I kind of wanted to see more about the Empire, on how the Empire really truly took over the worlds and stuff like that. We saw that transition happen very quickly, and I assume Palpatine had a big idea about coming in, stepping in, and going, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this really quickly. We're going to have things already prepped during the Clone Wars, ready to move into place to take over planet A, B, C, D first, and then go to these other planets. But I just don't feel the noose tightening around the galaxy as much as I'm feeling it tying around the characters. I'm feeling it for tightening around the characters, but I'm not. I want to see more about tightening the noose around the galaxy as 3 years go on from the show. That was the problem with all the
fun side quests they did, is that, too many people are living so happily and free, and there's a vague glimpse you see of sometimes there'll be oppression on one planet, but you kind of get the vibe that it's not everywhere yet,
and
which
we also know
the idea of the quick turn in the galaxy.
But here's the other thing, the backwater worlds are backwater worlds for a reason, because place, characters like the Hutts took over the backwater worlds and the, cartels and all that. So we could have seen, we saw a little bit of that in the story arc, but we also could have seen that is a good hiding place if the characters had to be on the move. That's the place you'd want to interact with.
I think Jabba actually would have been a way more interesting character for them to associate with than Sid. I think Sid was all right. But
boy, I want to see that character die, though. I hope they kill her. We haven't seen her all season, and I'm hoping they kill her in the series finale. But they won't be. But we won't. But we will only get what we had happen from last season. Be that moment to have a character like Sid just turn up to be killed off is not as rewarding. You'd want to have her involvement a few episodes prior to that somehow if they're going to go that direction.
Betraying them one last time.
Not even that, but just knowing that she's around and she's kind of like being really, really bad and mean that she should be. If she just pops up and said, "Hey boys, I'm here to, and then gets shot and killed or whatever, then it's not going to be as rewarding, because it's like, let's make a quick cameo if that is the case. I'd rather them not have Sid in any part of the series finale story arc, and she may not be. She might be just a character that was gone in season 2. But I would like to see, I would like to see her character get her due justice, but but that's not the kind of world that Star Wars is. Sometimes the bad guys do win. Sometimes the people like that actually do get away with it. But I also want to know that character's still around.
In the show is that they're building towards Palpatine's return. And if the last shot of the show isn't Palpatine returning and they don't really address that at all, I think I'd be a little disappointed.
I wouldn't be more surprised if that they lose Mount Tantus and they kind of say, well, let's move this whole operation over.
I'm sorry, not Palpatine returning, but the idea behind him returning.
Right, but
because he's still alive.
Yeah. Well, he's already emperor at this point, but it's like you meant the actual
idea behind
in the sequence,
not the actual physical body of him but just the idea behind his return.
They need to
forward and being in progress.
Yeah, this entire base needs to be exposed and closed down, which I'm going to go into in another second. Sorry, Elijah. I do want to go over other things, but I'm saying that just to quickly end this, there is. I'm never going to quickly end Star Wars, but. Yeah, I want to get this thing that they can at least push it and say, let's move our operation to Exegol, which is based upon the Last Jedi.
That's what I mean.
The Rise of Skywalker. Sorry.
The Rise of Skywalker stuff. Because they've been building towards that the whole show. The idea of he's had his return planned for years in case anything happened to him. Yeah. And I think if they don't address that, same with the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian's been playing with that idea too. And I think if they don't address those two ideas in some way, I think it'll be a little messy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mandalorian was more about Moff Gideon gaining the Force for himself and keeping it away from other Imperial elements and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they were playing around with the ideas of the way Palpatine revived himself and him playing with those tools. Sure. And they weren't setting up Palpatine's return to Mandalorian because obviously he had already returned, but they were showing how he had done it.
And man, it's not a hate sequence.
He loves to hate him.
I shut up. Anyway, let's move on, guys. We've got a few other bits and pieces.
Yeah, which ones do you hate? Is it what's
I still find Rise of Skywalker
the worst,
the hardest one to go through because it is so. And I don't say this about characters or cast or anything like that. I say this about the way it was forced upon within the writing. There's a lot of stuff in the writing and direction that didn't work. And J.J. Abrams, in my opinion, didn't. JJ had this whole we need to quickly course, and Lucasfilm had this whole we need to course correct things because we're getting this whole lot of flack from Rise of Skywalker. Last Jedi.
Too much trouble in the last 3 movies just because of different writers and just they didn't have a through line. It's funny to me that they didn't have
that's what we said from the beginning.
Movies from the beginning. Like this is the storyline that we're going with.
So being that case, there was elements that did work, but less worked for Rise of Skywalker for me than actually did work.
I don't think you can make a cohesive trilogy like that with one through story with two different sets of writers and directors.
Yeah, it's just impossible. Which would they try to do too much in Hollywood now? Just like
yeah, they just don't care about the people behind it. They only care about the people in it and the people watching it
and the money and like.
Well, they're too dumb to realize that it's a different team making the new one.
Yeah.
That's why think it's, they need to have trust in their creators.
Ow, that's low, but you're kind of right.
I think J.J. Abrams is so obsessed with recreating his childhood, he forgets to make original content. No, and that's not a knock to say he's a bad director or a bad writer, but he's trying to always capture specific ideas and moments in other projects and other lives. It always has to reference something or be a take on something else. It can never just be an original story. And I think he needs to get back to original stories.
Yes, we talked about X-Men at the beginning of the episode. Elijah hadn't.
We talked about Jenna Ortega too, so don't even bring her up, okay? We already talked about her. If you want to hear about that, you can go back and replay our episode. Give it a thumbs up.
Did we go over the new episode of X-Men yet?
What's up?
Did we go over the new episode?
No, we haven't gone over the new. Oh, sorry, we haven't gone over the new X-Men. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. We didn't. Sorry, my bad. We were talking about. Sorry. Oh yeah. That's it.
Oh
sorry.
Man, spoilers! Come on. No, you got. I'm gonna watch it right after this.
All right, that was the episode before.
Captain Rogue America.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. I'm trying to remember what happened in the episode now. It's like my brain was like
in the X-Men episode.
Rest in peace, Gambit. Is he dead?
That was the second last episode.
Is he dead?
Technically, he was. Yeah. That was last week's episode.
Technically, he was.
Not this week's.
So he came back to life.
Yeah. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, he's still there.
He's still there.
I knew they could kill Gambit. Come on.
All right, Max. You're the expert on. Tell us.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
For people who haven't seen it. Okay. But this episode, I think, was starting to fracture the team a bit. I think there's two different ideals forming within the team. I think a idealism team and a revolutionary team. And I think they're also starting to lean back into the John Byrne era characters, like Nightcrawler. I think they're going to probably bring back now that some of those characters that aren't there anymore have left, like Bishop and Gambit. I think they're leaning more on some of the early 70s characters.
Right.
And I think there's a little bit of a split forming with how these characters are thinking about how they're approaching their mission. Wolverine and Rogue and Scott and probably Storm, I'm going to guess, maybe not Storm. They have a certain set of beliefs where they're a little bit more harder and less understanding of all the tragedies that are coming on them. While Nightcrawler and Morph are a little more they're understanding that they're not when the moment where Rogue drops that guy, I'm not going to say what happens. You can see the reaction of the team completely split.
Yeah,
from Wolverine being like, "Yeah, dude, that's awesome," to Nightcrawler being like, "Oh man," and Morph agreeing with him. And I think they're definitely starting to show the team. The ideals are starting to get a little split, and I think Scott is leaning into that revolutionary bit a little bit. They brought a new villain this week.
Okay. Wait. Okay. All right. Elijah hasn't seen it. Damn it. I don't know anything. I've never. I don't know who that character is.
It's Bastion. His name is Bastion.
Okay. All right.
So this is spoilers for people out there. I don't know.
He reads the comics.
So Bastion is a mystical combination of Omega Sentinel and Master Mold.
I have no idea who any of those
characters
are.
I don't know how to explain that So Omega Sentinel is this big evil Sentinel from the future who's like, I'm gonna murder all mutants. And Master Mold is one of the original big Sentinel designs, and that was that Sentinel that.
That's the one that attacked and destroyed. Is that the one that attacked and destroyed the city?
Genosha? No, that's the Tri-Sentinel.
Okay. All right. Oh, my bad.
I know. So
there's a lot going. Basically, what you're saying is that this show is rich in historical comic book lore for those who understand it.
the original show did was they always adapted Claremont stories with a '90s twist on it. They'd always, use the '90s characters in favor of like Kitty Pryde or Colossus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone out there wants to read X-Men, Marvel Unlimited is a super cheap way to do it. I think there's a drop of 97 cents for your first month. I would read from Giant Size X-Men #1, and then from there continue on to Uncanny 94, which is the start of the Claremont issue saga, which goes for about 200 issues.
Right.
And you'll basically read every classic X-Men story of the classic age.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. Moving on to one last quick thing, guys, or a couple of loose little things, I should say. We got ourselves a Deadpool trailer this past week.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Anchorman, they take debit card.
Yeah, I like these posters.
Great way to read it.
Yeah. These posters are great. I like that little piece. What did you guys think of the poster? Oh, sorry, the poster. The trailer. The trailer.
It was fun. I'm happy. This is going to be fun. This is going to be just wacky, and I think this seems like it's going to be my favorite of the Deadpool movies. I mean, I've watched back the other two. I'm like, they're okay. I mean, it's fun, but I think this is going to be just a lot of fun. It's just going to have so much crap in it. It's going to be you're going to want to watch it like 4 times in the theater just so you can see everything. There's going to be so much. It's going to be like so packed with stuff.
The trailer alone had like Callisto and Azazel and Lady
We should plan to watch it twice in the same day. I mean, really, if we're going to go to see it, we should really watch it like twice in the same day.
Yeah,
I think I'd watch.
I'd be down for that.
Eat and then watch it again because I really feel like this one's going to be like a what just happened. I need to watch this twice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how and if this will be the film that rebalances back the MCU for everybody.
I keep seeing people say that, but it's an R-rated movie that's already going to divide audiences. I don't.
I don't think that matters. I mean, I used to watch friggin' RoboCop when I was like 8 years old or whatever. When I was 8 years old, I was watching R-rated movies.
Yeah,
when kids,
come on.
I mean, 8-year-olds now, they've got the internet and they can see far crazier things. They watch whatever. Crazy. They watch crazy stuff, so like they can handle an R-rated movie, and if it's good, it's good, and that's just all it is to it. And if someone wants to watch it, they can watch it. But it's not like you're not breaking the law if you're watching it. R-rated.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
I don't think that matters.
I just think some audiences are scared of it. I mean, especially once you get towards the middle of the country. I mean, I think places like LA, big cities,
they're dumb.
A little more accommodating. I agree. I just think it's one of those things that R-rated movies are just
you always have those people, whatever. There's those people around when, whatever. That's why we have the friggin' warning labels on CDs, the gore, triple gore and crap. It's because those idiots,
Sure.
we got problems. Let's move away from those morons. And just enjoy it already.
You know that half the parents are going to actually buy the tickets, say they're going with a kid, and they just drop the kid there and then leave. And it's simple
exactly.
as that.
That's doing it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, if they have no interest in watching it, and the kid wants to see it, they're going to do that and say, eh.
My dad would make me pay for his ticket because he would, if I was underage and they were checking. He would walk in and then walk out, and he would just drive home and pick me up after.
Man,
but I'd have to
we
pay
saw
for his
all
ticket
R-rated
too.
movies when I was younger. Either we skip, jump into theaters skip around or whatever. But
you can't.
I don't think our rating will change anything.
No.
I guess we'll see.
And you know how they do? It's like when they do it on DVD, they're like, "Oh, the unrated version." Then they do a DVD and like the extra bad.
For now though,
they did a PG. They made a PG version instead of a unrated version. They did. I remember. I remember that. I'd never watched it, but that'd be funny.
Yeah. But for now, I mean, that trailer, I think, is the last trailer we'll get. The film is out in about a little over a month's time, I think it is, or thereabouts. When is
so
it out?
Soon.
Yeah, no, it is coming out soon. I don't think tickets are up on sale yet, but I'm going to keep an eye out.
That's crazy.
But at the
What do you
same
think the
time,
popcorn bucket's going to be? I mean, they've already said that they're making one.
Oh, they showed it. It's like the butts. It's like a butt.
is that is that
like
real
his
though?
butt.
Is that the real one, or is that?
I think so. It's like
I
his butt.
couldn't tell if
Like
that
you
was a
reach into his
joke
butt to get the
or not.
popcorn. I think it's the real ones.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
now they're
Everyone
going. Now they're
knows.
going. If they can make a sandworm that looks like a fleshlight, they
Sure.
can make
Yeah. Yeah.
they can make a popcorn butt that you have to reach
That looks
into
like
the ass to get the popcorn.
to get the. Okay, fair enough. Either way, I thought it was a fun trailer. I'm hoping the whole film will be as much fun as I am hoping that there will be enough of a through story that this can at least break those walls of the MCU.
I think it's
Not,
going to be
you know,
I
more
think it
falling
really will.
off.
than people
Yeah.
think.
They're just gonna smash it together. And like, this
Yeah.
is what you got now. It's
Yeah.
just they're obviously like you're an
Yeah.
alternate Wolverine. I mean, just with
Do
that,
we-
we know that we're gonna get like
Yeah.
5 different Wolverines in this movie. I
Sure.
hope Danny DeVito shows up as Wolverine. I mean, if we have a bingo card, that
Okay.
would be like on my bingo card. I mean, maybe we should do that for this movie.
I wonder if they
that's
asked
fun.
Danzig.
Well, that was where I was about to ask. Do we think we're going to see any other MCU characters pop up in this film
I
that
think
haven't
for sure.
been that haven't been already
In the
said?
end credit scene, maybe I think we'll see a
Okay.
Wong or
Okay.
something like that.
We could see
Okay.
random
Alright.
people as random characters that
Sure.
haven't even just. Oh, you know who would be good as this person? Just throw them in just for the hell of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, we had a dead body of giant Ant-Man character.
Oh, that's Pim Falls, yeah.
So and then we've also we've got the portals that Doctor Strange uses. So so they have to take this stuff from somewhere, and it feels like
I
to
think
make it in
the
canon.
whole thing is Cassandra Nova seems to be sending them into other universes.
Okay.
I don't know what she's doing with them. That seems to be why they're jumping into the portal. It seems why that's where they're approaching the why they were approaching the other Wolverine and Madripoor is what it looked like.
Yeah.
I think eventually one of the universes they're going to send them into is going to be the MCU.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's what the TVA wants them to do too. They set that up in the trailer. The TVA showing him videos of the Sacred Timeline, which is just videos of the Avengers movies. And I think eventually those two ideas of TVA sending them to find find the universe, and Cassandra Nova sending them to do whatever in the universe. So I think they're going to cause them to both meet in 616, and that's going to be the idea is that one of them has to stay there. It's going to be Deadpool.
Okay. Chris, am I going to Japan for Star Wars celebration?
Thursday.
No, I'm
this Thursday.
No, that's when the tickets drop on sale. No, I'm not. I can't afford it.
Chris, buy him a ticket.
No.
It's just one full price ticket to Japan and back.
That's part of it, and yeah, no, it's just too expensive. I can't handle that right now in my life. But at the same time, good luck, Chris, on getting a ticket, because I know they're going to be tough. I do know we had better luck on this.
When try to go?
Yeah. Well, actually, Chris, did you go to England? Yeah, he went. Did you go to the England one, Chris? Remind me. I think you did, if I remember. And we missed each other when you were out here in California in 2019. Sorry, that was just bad timing and bad crossing paths. But good luck on getting the Japan pass. What's that?
Can you get professional passes to Celebration?
You can. They're about $900, I think, or something in that range.
Wow.
They're in a higher range up there, but that allows you to get into every single or a lot more.
No, he said professional pass, to where you can qualify for
the same thing. It's you can buy tickets that allow you to get into more of the events.
Media passes probably more than a professional pass.
It's not even that. It's something I can't remember what they called it exactly, but they're about $900 for that particular ticket. So yeah. For all 4 days or
Press
whatever
passes. That makes sense.
Blogger pass or I mean.
That's it. Anchorman.
Just like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You got. I saw the photo
this year. Or no, not WonderCon. LA Comic Con this year.
Really?
Eating lunch outside next to Brandon Wayne.
Oh, really? That wouldn't surprise me.
Shuffled. There was a few people with him. They shuffled they shuffled Enshin Hati. They shuffled a bunch of the Star Wars actors at one time to the food trucks, and they just sat them down at a table.
Oh, really? Oh shit! Wow. Yeah. No. I mean, I saw randomly wandering around at Celebration. Amy Eckstein. She usually is out and about and whatever. But yeah, no. Sometimes these people get out and do things and whatever. But I saw the photos, Anchorman. I saw you had met Iman, who played Ezra Bridger. Yeah. Oh, that's it. The Jedi VIP pass. Thank you, Chris. That's what it was called. That's around about $900. At least it was 2 years ago. I don't know what it is on this.
I mean, I guess if it's a 900 pass and you get to be a Jedi, it makes sense.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Other last thoughts? Any last other things? I mean, I think we talked about this briefly, but Outlaws, they dropped a trailer a few weeks ago for their game. Max, you weren't too much of a fan of this?
I mean, I think the studio has a bad problem of just pooping out games, and that's the best way to put it. Is they have a formula for games that they make where it's open world kind of check mark boxes of things to do. Yeah. And recently they've been filling that in the blanks with IPs. So whether it's like Avatar or Star Wars, they just kind of, or one of their own IPs, they just kind of do the same game, right? With different IP skins over it. And I'm hoping this is the one that breaks the mold. But the last few games have been very middle of the line, not terrible, not amazing, just middle of the line.
Fair enough.
Reskinned games.
I did notice from the trailer that some of the graphics, I mean, some of the characters look amazing, but some of the graphics don't look as high up there as other games that other companies have been pushing out there.
There's a big disparity between some of the games that are coming out. Some of them will have like amazing, super hyper realistic graphics. Some of these games try to target not so realistic graphics and thus make it look a little worse.
Yeah. See, I mean, if you look at the backgrounds. Yes, I think this is artwork, but some of the backgrounds look incredible, and some of the creature characters look great, but the human characters not so much. Oops, sorry.
Little uncanny,
yeah.
Their eyes never fit right in their faces, and their hair always looks a little glued on.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, I'm hoping people have fun with that game. I mean, it's always nice to see. I want to see what the story is more than anything, and I've always said this, that if animation or something doesn't quite work, as long as there is a story that I can sit and focus on and take in, I will fall into the story before I fall into a badly animated piece of work. Or an animation piece of work that doesn't quite always connect. And that's why I found myself really involved with the Clone Wars, because at first I really had a disorientation of the animation, of the CG animation. And of course, I came out of the Tchaikovsky. I can't remember his freaking name. He did the animated shorts who also did Samurai Jack. He did the animated Star Wars Clone Wars stuff originally, before the animated Clone Wars CG series came up by George Lucas. And I was more partial to that animation than I was to the CG at first. And the CG grew on me in time, but that only grew on me because the stories kept on getting and ramping up and getting better. And the stories are everything for me in the Star Wars universe. So I am looking forward to seeing what the story of Outlaws is and how that plays out within the universe. And then, of course, just a last quick thing, Acolyte dropped a few more images a few weeks back. So, yeah, I mean, Acolyte, most of them were in the trailer and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I've been looking through my High Republic comics and trying to figure out which first appearances I have of the Acolyte characters, because a few of them are from the comics.
Huh. Oh yeah, that's cool. Helldivers 2? I don't know what Helldivers 2 is.
It's a game. I haven't played that yet. It looks pretty fun.
All right.
Also, a great price for the game, $40. That's what I want most games to cost.
Okay.
Nice price in the game.
That's cool.
I mean, most games are like $70 now. That game was like $40, and it's like one of the biggest games right now.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, we'll end it here. Don't forget the 3rd of this month. Yes, the Phantom. But look at it. Look at it.
Right now.
No. You know what's? Hey, Elijah. You know what's not on DVD? The Acolyte. The scene from the Acolyte on the big screen. Seeing the Acolyte on the big screen. Seeing a piece of the scene.
During episode 1 the whole time.
More than anything, I want to see the Acolyte trailer on the big screen. No, the Acolyte trailer on the. It was the same when I saw the end.
Watch Acolyte trailer and then leave. And then leave.
No, I want to see. Like, it's been 25 years. I want to see.
At least see the Duel of Fates.
Yeah, Duel of Fates on the big screen, and I'm going to see this more than once. Elijah, you got to come. You got to come with us, Elijah. You got to come with us.
No, I'd have to be on acid or something to enjoy that. I don't really like. Just wow.
Fair enough. And then, guys, don't forget also this Friday into Saturday we will be doing a reaction to Tales of the Empire. I'll probably break down. The episodes are going to be pretty short. I guess they're like somewhere between 15 to 20, maybe 30 minutes long, depending. We'll probably break it down over a couple of days, and we might just separate each episode and talk through it.
That also allows me. Pod race. That's when he folds. He's like, "I'm out of here. Hands down, I'm out of here." His pod race is just so stupid. I gotta leave the theater.
What? Come on,
hands down. This is the worst part of the movie.
What?
Not Queen Amidala.
Wow.
Isn't that what he's saying?
Wow. What?
Isn't that what he's saying? Hands down is the worst part. Oh. I'm just joking.
All right. Okay.
Padme Amidala is a racist.
Everyone go see it. You like what you like. You know, you're in. You dig.
You know what, Elijah? We're going to tie you up. We're going to put toothpicks in your eyes, and we're going to sit you in front of the theaters of the Phantom Menace, and you're going to sit and enjoy it. Oh, I'm going to take your mouth shut so you won't have to say anything.
Oh, and he's going to play Bjork while I have to watch it, and then I'll have a disassociation that I hate.
All right, guys. I think we're about an hour and a half in now. So, chat, thank you so much for joining us. It was kind of fun. It's going to be a big week with Star Wars. Let's put it this way. So we'll pop in next week. We'll do reactions this coming week to stuff, and of course we'll be doing a reaction to X-Men this week. We'll be doing a reaction. At least Max and I'll be doing a reaction to the series finale of The Bad Batch that I'm going to drop within that time frame. And then definitely can't wait to do these series show reactions for Tales of the Empire, because I think that's gonna be my new favorite thing. I'm extremely excited for that. With that, guys, thanks a lot, and we'll catch you all later. Thank you.